Just wanted to share that I had the opportunity to be a guest on BBC Radio 4's The Bottom Line podcast with Evan Davis. We are talking about self-checkouts. Have we reached peak self-checkout, or are we going to see more innovation in this space? So a really hot topic, a really relevant topic. I will probably do an episode on Retail Disrupted about this because I have so many thoughts. So watch this space. But in the meantime, just want to share a couple of brief thoughts on what I'm seeing. And also the other guests on the podcast had really interesting views too. So I was on with Julian Metcalfe, who is the co-founder of Pret-a-Manger and the founder of Itsu, as well as Rob Elsey, who is the Chief Digital and Information Officer at the Co-op. And it was really interesting to talk about the supermarkets and how self-checkout has become ubiquitous in our supermarkets. And it's sort of the thing that we either love it or hate it, right? I think at the end of the day, you have to give your customers choice. And you have to be able to quickly intervene when things go wrong. And so it's interesting how we're now seeing some retailers say, actually, we did move too far. We did move too fast. We heard that from the CEO of Morrison's. And so I think it makes sense for retailers to, rethink things, reassess things. It's been a few years since the pandemic, and that was a real catalyst for investing in this technology when we all needed that quick, low-touch, contactless, frictionless experience. And also Amazon. Amazon is a huge catalyst here. When they announced they were moving into grocery and bricks and mortar, they were never going to do things like everyone else. They were always going to come in and disrupt the status quo. And so the introduction of checkout-free, fully autonomous stores, that caused a huge reaction in the industry. And interestingly, we're now seeing retailers scale back there around the checkout-free technology. And I think that's probably a whole other episode. But I do think there are very big signs of cracks in that model. But in terms of self-checkouts, we heard from Asda, they're putting more staff on the self-checkout zone so they can quickly help customers if they need it. And in the most extreme cases, we've seen Booths, the northern grocer, completely rip out self-checkouts, calling them slow, unreliable, and impersonal. At the same time, we've seen a lot of investment in the fashion space. So lots to talk about. Check out the podcast, and I'll do an episode on this soon.